I've got some unresolved feelings about Liam. We're gonna pull the chair, we're gonna do something like that. What are they gonna like the most? Let's try and do that. What if I really did try and get the outcome that I want in life? The best experience of my acting career, hands down, bar none.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heart in Motion podcast. I'm thrilled today to be talking with Lachlan Quarmby. Hi, Lachlan. Thanks for being here.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. So excited to talk about Providence Falls. We've had
Yeah.
3 great weeks, and so excited to chat with you about your experience and even like the reaction for the series. So thanks for being here.
Oh, it is my absolute pleasure. There's one thing that is really nice when you do a project and people like it is then having to talk about it. If you didn't
Yeah.
enjoy yourself as much and you have to talk about it, that's not good. But I love talking about this because it was such a great time.
You had some great, once the series, I mean, throughout the series, you were so great at posting things and keeping all the fans involved. But even afterwards, love seeing all of the behind the scenes things. It's one thing as a fan, we get to enjoy the project, but to see that you guys had so much fun in the project, working together. So, what was that experience like over the last 3 weeks just to see the reception of the audience?
Oh, honestly, it's been really, really heartwarming. Like, I usually just do the BTS stuff, and it's kind of more for the other cast and crew members because usually nobody does it, and everybody says, "Oh, I wish I got more," because we're all just kind of focused on working. So I do make it a point nowadays that I try and get all of that stuff just so that we can all share in the memories. But then when the fans started to take to this project so much and started to enjoy it and then enjoy the BTS as well, I was like, oh, I gotta keep giving them more because people are enjoying this as much as I do. So yeah, I loved it.
It's amazing, kind of living in that social media world and working
Mhm.
with Hallmark and some of those projects, how that it's just become more of a community experience, not just the project itself, but the building up of it, the people talking about it. I just think it's brought a whole new atmosphere to the whole, part of putting those projects, those movies of the week or those series out there. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm new to the Hallmark world and everything, and I'm definitely new to the Hallmark audience. But I gotta say, just interacting with them and reading, I go through and I read pretty much every message that's sent my way or every comment, and I just have loved the positivity and the friendliness of everybody as well. It's been wonderful. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Lachlan, was this your first Hallmark, or have you had another opportunity to be involved in a Hallmark project?
This is the first sort of leading or substantial role, I'll say. I did one line in another one, a Christmas one. Yeah, you're nodding like you know
Yeah.
which one it was. Okay. Yeah, one line in that one, and then honestly, I've auditioned a bunch and haven't really had the right fit, or I don't know. It's a different genre and it's a different network. So there's all these things like you need to kind of understand how to mold yourself to fit into those kind of puzzle pieces. But yeah, I think this one just came along and I was like, oh, this role in particular, as
Hmm.
opposed to any of the other ones I've gone for, actually really clicks with me. And
Hmm.
and luckily enough, they thought so as well.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect fit. So,
Thank you.
can you
Thank you.
talk about finding out about this particular role and that experience to where, looking at the script and you find out, hey, I'm going to be in Providence Falls?
Yeah. Yeah, we I hadn't read the script when I got the part. I'd only read the audition scenes. I haven't told anyone this, but I taped for both Liam and Finn, funnily
Mm.
enough. And the Finn one, they were like, no, but Liam, they were just straight in on that. They were like, yeah, this is it. Didn't even do a callback. They booked me straight from that, which was really cool. And then I did a meeting with the producers, with Joanna and a few of the other producers, and once they started to talk about how excited they were about it, I was like, whoa, we're doing something here that people are really, really passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the script.
Yeah.
And were there things that immediately you're like, I'm either going to have to research, or there's some things because there's so many layers to even Liam, but
Yeah.
things that you're like, ooh, I'm going to have to up my game in this or learn this.
Yeah, so I think Katie had been on for like a week or two before I came on, and she'd received the scripts, at least the first two. So in that first Zoom call, I had no idea, and they were talking about a zipper scene, and they were talking about a lake scene, and I'm going, "What does any of this mean?" I'm stressed. It sounds important, but then yeah, reading through, you start to realize, okay, I'm doing the accent. So I'm gonna have to research that. I'm gonna have to work out what that is. We had a great accent coach who came on, Francesca, to help us. And then starting to research what I guess life was like in 1844. How specific are we going to be? What's going to be worth putting into the script? What's going to be worth studying? What's going to be distracting and waste of time? So there was really like this quick thing, and I got the job sort of just before Christmas, the Christmas break, and then we were filming January 14th. So it
Okay.
was like a 3 to 4 week type prep phase.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but you were the character that had to carry that accent through
Mm,
the entire movie. So, what
yes.
was that pressure like?
Yes, I definitely had many moments where I like halfway through movie two or three where I was like, have I changed? Did I lose it? Did I change something? Or is this how it sounded in movie one? Because you can't really go back and watch, right?
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, I sort of stuck to my guns. I had a few character references that I was drawing from and a couple of specific sounds, but I love doing accent work. I much more prefer to act in accent because I'm from Australia, so I usually have to act in accent, whether that's American or Canadian or whatever it is. So I prefer to do the accent. Gives me some other layer of character that I can add in.
Yeah.
But doing Liam's in particular was tough because he's from 1844. So what does that sound like? We don't know. He's also from Ireland. We didn't really lock in a specific part of Ireland, so we kind of had to
Mhm.
choose that as well.
Mhm.
But that was a really fun puzzle, and yeah, I love doing accents. I would prefer to do them all the time. So being able to stay in it the whole time was
Mhm.
really fun.
That's great. So you mentioned Ireland.
Yeah.
We have Hallmark projects. Most of them are not destination. This is one of
No.
those that has so many parts to it, including going to Ireland. What was that experience like?
The best. The best experience of my acting career, hands down, bar none. Like it was awesome. So we went for 9 days and we only shot for three. But we got to acclimatize a little bit before we started filming, and then three shoot days that were just like go 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 filming like crazy. But I mean, yeah, actual real castles, real period piece costumes, actual horses and carriages over there, and then interacting with the Irish people and having them sort of, you know, give you the thumbs up for your accent or nitpick a little sound here and
Mhm.
there, or
Yeah.
people, but giving their honest opinion was really fun, and the Irish crew were great. Yeah, I mean, I think destination shooting like as an actor is just always the dream. You want to be able to do that sort of stuff. So I just couldn't believe how lucky I was. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, it was beautiful on this side of it,
Mm.
and so amazing to watch. Did you get any downtime at all to be able to take any of it in?
A little bit, yeah. We definitely did. We did a couple pub crawls and some karaoke, and we did some hiking in the national park and stuff, and met some of the Irish locals. But we really only got to stay in Dublin. Our DP, Justin, who was the one who lit all of those shots so beautifully. Shout out to Justin. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I remember he was really keen to get the most out of his Irish time, so he was like, I think he got on a 5 a.m. bus and went all the way north to Belfast and then back down in a day. And he was really keen on getting all that stuff done. I just stuck to Dublin and explored there. But yeah, some people really, we made the most of it.
That's amazing. Will you
Yeah.
go back after going?
Absolutely. I would consider Ireland, even though I've only seen one city of it, that's like
Yeah.
top three countries I've ever been to. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great bucket list one. It's definitely on mine. So that's
Oh,
pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this series blends, there's romance, there's mystery, There's some fantasy involved in it, a lot of history. I mean, we're going all the way back to 1844. What part of that mix did you enjoy the most?
Oh, good question. I think I enjoyed the romance part of it the most because it was the newest part to me in my career. I haven't done a romantic lead before, and I certainly haven't dabbled in like the romance genre as is. Um, so getting to do that was quite nerve-wracking and difficult, to be honest, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know that the people around me, like our director and even Katie, who watches romance movies, that's her favorite genre, have this knowledge. Like they've forgotten more about romance than I'll ever know. So I'm kind of like I'm really trying to keep up the pace and learn on this sort of steep learning curve. But I do enjoy that. I enjoy the challenge of an acting role that is not something that comes easily to me. I want to do something that is difficult and that I don't really understand so I can figure out something new every time. So I'd have to say the romance was my favorite. Yeah. What about you? Did you have a favorite aspect of that? Because you said like we did a lot of the genres. Was one part your favorite?
So I I was going to give you the out if you said you couldn't pick because I don't think I could pick because
Right.
I think what I loved about Providence Falls is that it had so many layers to it. You know, just
Yeah.
about the time that we're really getting into the mystery, it swings, you know, to just that little romantic side, but then we're swept back to 1844. So it was just so beautifully woven together, all of those parts that for me, it was actually really hard to separate. But, and I'm a
Yeah.
history buff.
Okay.
So I love history, but you know, I show up to watch a Hallmark, I'm showing up to the romance. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there were some great, we'll call them special effects moments, like even when you know, appear in modern day. Can you
Yes.
kind of talk about, you know, the directing and all of that production of doing some of those really neat, unique scenes where, you know, you just appear out of nowhere because those are not things that we always see in a Hallmark movie.
Yes, yeah, and they really wanted to set the pace for the series in movie one. We wanted to put a couple of those like big CGI, sort of higher budget type things in movie one, just so that the audience, particularly early in movie one, like when Keegan comes down in Samael comes down in the Department of Destiny, she's actually on wires. She actually dropped from about 30 feet up and
Wow.
straight down. So it was cool to see Lucy, our director, and Justin, our DP, being like, we're front loading this thing. We want people to know that we mean business with Providence Falls, and we're really going to try and push the envelope here and give the audience something really juicy that they can sink their teeth into, maybe something they
Yeah.
haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And the shot of me going back, getting whipped through sort of time and space was based off of a shot in another movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mhm.
And Justin, again, our DP, he spent the whole day walking around the city of Vancouver, just getting those shots by himself to like sort of fast forward 1 second of film. And we had to do that one a couple of times because it's not an exact science. You don't know what looks good. Like, is fast movement good or is
Yeah.
slow movement good? What kind of whenever you're doing CGI stuff, the facial expression is always such an actor's nerve-wracking thing because you really want to sort of lock in and do your best, but then you kind of forget about what your face is doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
we had to do that a couple of times, but once we got it, I think it looks pretty good in the movie.
No, it was great. I was watching the first part back the other day and saw, you know, a few of those moments and yeah, fantastic. And just something new and
Yeah,
unique. So I think
right.
they nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Another thing, and maybe it wasn't difficult for you, but you know, Liam shows up in modern day, and there's so many moments where you have to act like you don't know what modern day is like this is a
Mhm.
new world for you. So what was that but was that easy for you? I mean, I'm just going to read the script, or did you catch yourself
Yeah.
sometimes going, I've got to react a certain way here?
Yeah, it was to be honest, the jokes, like the core jokes were on the page. So it was kind of like Liam's phone is ringing, but he doesn't notice, and then he pulls it
Mm,
out. That was kind of written, but the stuff that I really enjoyed exploring was the stuff that wasn't on the page. So when it just says they get in the elevator.
yeah.
Okay, well, what does that mean to Liam? He's stepping into a mechanical box, being what's going on. So all of those little beats, you'll see if you watched it with like a magnifying glass, you'd hopefully see me having little thoughts here and there about little things. There's one bit where he sips a Guinness and he's kind of expecting it to be strange, but then he's like, oh, because it would have been the same recipe, because it has been the same recipe since even before 1844.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of little things like that we tried to layer in for the keen-eyed viewer.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of difficulty, you really want to keep the narrative going. You don't want to slow things down by like belaboring a bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be like, okay, the phone is a funny bit, and then we're back on to continuing the story.
Yeah.
Whereas if we focused on Liam's shock of the modern world, we could have just done that all day.
Yeah.
We could have kept going for hours on that front. But yeah, we just sort of put it down to Liam's a quick study. He'll figure it out, and he'll find a way to move on quickly.
Do you, and I know this is probably a difficult question when we're talking about three basically movies. Do you have a favorite part of this series?
Oh, nobody's asked me that before. Interesting. I I kind of have two. So I like movie one because we were able to be funnier.
Okay.
The stakes hadn't quite settled in yet to the point where by movie two and three, just sort of just naturally in a trilogy, you have to keep upping the stakes, which means the
Yeah.
conflict is going to be higher, less jokey, right? So I did like that one has a bit more comedy, and I like to get those jokes in. Um, but then I would have to say in three, there's sort of pre-Cora knowing what's going on and then
Mm-hmm.
post-Cora knowing what's
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because Katie and I talked about it all throughout filming where we were kind of like, oh, I cannot wait until Cora knows what's going on
Yeah.
because it is so frustrating to spend 12, 14 hours a day playing pretend that you have so much you want to say to another
Mm-hmm.
person and not
Mm-hmm.
being able to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally you can say stuff again. So
Yeah.
that was the post Cora finding out was probably the funnest stuff to film because we actually had built like 2 months of
Oh yeah.
relief to let go of it and be
Oh
like,
yeah.
ah, we can finally, we're both on the same page and we're acting in the same movie now, you know?
It's fun to hear that, that same type of, I don't want to, it's suspense is the wrong word, but that slow burn and just that getting to it, that you guys experience that even behind the scenes. So, but I gotta say, what it was never like, okay, get to it already. I mean, just the pacing
Mm.
of it was so well done. It
Mhm.
happened at just the right time. Very rewarding on our side of it, where it was like, okay, it's time. So well done on that one. So that was great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You've got a great supporting cast in this
Mhm.
series. Can you talk about some of those interactions? Like you said, there were some really funny moments, some pretty serious moments. What were some of the favorites for you?
Oh, I loved doing scenes with my boy Amatai, who plays Aegon.
Yeah.
Our little angel and dynamic was so fun. We really had a lot of fun, and there are many takes of us doing those jokes and those lines completely differently. So we got to mix it up there. I also love what Keegan did as Samael. Every
Mm-hmm.
time she came on, she's just such a experienced actress and just her way of just nailing a line. I was watching and taking notes on that for sure. And other side character, I mean, we did have a really great cast. Matty Finocchio, who plays Chief Boyd, is probably the funniest actor I've ever worked with. You might not be able to tell because he's a serious character in this, but he killed me. He made me break more times than there's one moment in the movie I can't remember which one, but I'm doing a scene with Maddie and Liam fully turns away from the camera because I had to quickly get a smile off my face and come back on because he was just making me laugh by his own nature. But I gotta say, Hallmark alum, Niall, when he came
Mm,
in as Bale, I
mm-hmm,
heard good things because I wasn't in his first couple scenes, but then when I got to do a scene with him, I was the audience member. I was just sitting there watching him have so much fun being
mm.
bad. And I just thought this guy's having the best time ever, and I'm enjoying watching it.
It was so good. I'm a huge Niall fan and
Yes.
never seen him in a role like that before, clearly, where he's playing, the bad guy. but
Hmm.
you couldn't like dislike him. I mean, he just played it in such a way where it was like you you like to not like him. I mean, it was he just did it so well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was just having fun.
Oh yeah.
He was just like he was let off the leash a little bit, and he kind of, I think Lucy and Siobhan, our directors, gave him that little bit of freedom to just push it a little bit more. And yeah, he relished that.
Yeah, it was great. Did you have a scene that you would say was the hardest for you to shoot?
Hmm, good question. The scene where Cora is having her moment of she's losing her self-belief, and she
Hmm.
gets the evidence from the in movie two, she gets the evidence from the jewelry job and she takes it out and she says, I don't know what I'm doing, maybe I should be taken off the case. And Liam
Mm,
says, what are you talking about? You're the best. And he puts the necklace on her
mm,
and they have that moment and then
yeah,
they break it apart and he sees how emotionally he is affecting her so negatively
yeah,
by being there and by being involved and by muddying up all of these waters. He just feels like so guilty, and that shot took the better part of an afternoon evening to that scene took the better part of an afternoon evening to get done. And so I just sat in that feeling for about, 4 hours or something, just to be just feeling just so guilty for kind of ruining somebody's life and kind of being the reason why things aren't going well for somebody and not being able to help them and not being able to do it. It's just the thought of you would have been better off if you'd never met me.
mm,
And with my acting process, I like to try and stay in it whilst I'm on set. I let it go when I go home, but I try and stay in the mindset. And so every time we would finish another take, it would be like, this is not fun. This is not a fun day at all.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but luckily we had a lot more fun days on set than that one. So that one stood out because it was so bad, but there was a lot more better times than
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And it paid off. I mean, it was such an amazing scene. So thanks for doing
Great.
the hard scene for us.
That's the job. That's the job. Can't complain.
We have to talk about the scene where it's like a moment of truth scene where she falls into the water.
Mm, yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about that scene? I know that had to be, I mean, even looking at Finn's face and the way that, Evan played that part where he has this moment of truth where he's like, oh, there is something actually going on there. What was that
Yeah.
scene like to film?
Uh, Picture this, February, Canada, 3 a.m., lake that was frozen, fully frozen solid 3 days earlier. We were worried if the lake would actually thaw to the point where we could jump in. So there was that to juggle with. But me being an Australian, I love to get in the water and I'm happy to do that. The coldness, I'm not used to. But yeah, the emotional point of the scene is heartbreaking to see Finn's sort of like face, fall, and that's quite sad. But then you're also on the other hand completely kind of like, oh, Liam and Cora, like he's just so happy that she didn't die this time,
Yeah.
and caught up in it and everything. The process of filming that was just kind of checking in with Katie and making sure she's good and everything, and you just kind of grit your teeth and go through it, honestly, because it's late at night and you're freezing and you kind of walk back behind the camera after takes and just find eye contact with some producer and be like, was that it? Did that work? Because I have no idea what happened.
Mm,
And they were all sort of very happy at the time, and so I was just kind of going off of them. Are you happy? Yes. Okay, I'll keep doing it exactly the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very powerful. And again, moment of truth, definitely a payoff for us on this side of it. Another
Mm.
one that Lucy threw out the word spaghetti when I chatted with her. Katie threw out the word chair. So we have to talk about,
Mhm.
do we call it the spaghetti scene? Do we call it the chair scene, the wine scene, all of the above?
Yeah.
You said that doing the romance side of it was, definitely more challenging for you. It
Mhm.
it worked. Talk about that scene.
The spaghetti scene was interesting because it was another one where I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to keep up with what great ideas these women were throwing in, like particularly like Lucy coming in and then Joe and Katie all being like, we're gonna pull the chair, we're gonna do something like that. And then I'm just okay, and I'll you tell me and I'll do my best. But yeah, we just had great people at the helm, and that scene is 3 pages long. So you would expect it in a regular script to be about a minute per page. So you would expect when you're planning an edit of a film that it would be a 3 minute scene because it's
Mm,
3 pages.
yeah.
It was a 6 minute scene because all of those beats and layers
Mhm.
had to be in there. And then that kind of gets tricky with a Hallmark release, especially on the Hallmark channel, because it has to be a very specific time. It has to be 84 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so we had to kind of realize in that moment just how important is this scene? Is this scene worth taking 3 minutes away from the rest of the movie to really let it breathe?
Hmm.
Or do we rush it a little bit? And I think everybody at the time, again, it was another night scene. It was late. It was the last scene of the day. We had a cat get into the house, like a rogue cat get into the house, mid Katie and I being like right here, really connected. And then she looked over my shoulder and she's like, I'm so sorry. There's a cat behind you, and I'm gone. They're just completely distracted. But everybody kind of agreed between the spaghetti, the eating, the moving the wine glass away from him, that sort of playful part of the scene.
Hmm.
Then you have the reveal of Liam openly talking to Cora about Cora, which I loved as an actor to get to
Yep.
do.
Yeah.
Then she touches his leg, he pulls her in, and then in the moment of truth, he decides to be stronger than he has been up till this point and walk away. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, we had so much going on, and everybody was like, nope, this is just gonna have to be a 6 minute scene. We'll figure the rest out later.
Well, it was worth it. I mean, and it was loaded because it's fun, it's playful, but
Mhm.
then we're learning, she's having that moment of understanding where he's coming from, and then he turns and gets up to walk away. Well worth the 6 minutes loaded.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they made that call for sure. So that was good.
Yeah. 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 Me too.
Do you have another favorite scene that when you go back and watch it that you're like, yeah, that played out really well?
I think the finale by the waterfall, particularly after Liam's been shot and
Mm-hmm.
Katie Cora does her big plea, her big speech.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that and I just think she's so good. And she just pays off 3 movies of confusion and frustration and emotion building and makes that decision to really, really fight for it. I think that moment is just so good on Katie's behalf. And again, I was front row. I was lying there just looking at her, just watching this whole performance. From a Liam point of view, I had so many moments in these movies where I was just like, that was so fun, and that was so fun. I kind of have to say the shot of me walking out of the lake. I mean, as an actor, you just kind of hope somebody will shoot me looking really cool like that one day.
Yeah.
And I was very, very happy with that when I watch it back. Yeah.
They got it, especially when you're like, okay, you tell me what to do, and then you see the final cut of it. It worked really well. So,
Yes. Yes.
do you have a favorite line that Liam said?
Oh, so funny. Okay. So there was a line in the table read that I mispronounced. And then I thought the mispronunciation was actually funnier than the real line. So when we came to shoot it, I kept saying the mispronunciation. And then the writer was on set that day, Teresa, and she was like, it's actually so the line is in movie two when he's talking to Suzette and Aegon and he's mad about Magnus. He says, and who's this Magnus character just slopping in? And the word was sloping, but I
Oh,
said slopping, and then that got a couple laughs in the table read. So I thought, yeah, maybe slopping is funnier than
uh-huh.
sloping,
Yeah.
and then they had to pull me aside and be like, "Hey, Lachlan, just so you know, it's sloping and not slopping." And I said, "Oh, I know, I'm not. Yeah, I get, I know. I just is the slopping not funnier?" And they went. No, it's
Oh,
not. And I went, okay, copy that. We'll change that up for me. And Felicia, in her infinite kindness, got me a mug that says that line on it and has
oh,
a picture of
great.
my face. So that's got to be my favorite line.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
great. There's clearly a camaraderie between you and Katie and Evan, and even really the whole cast. So,
Yeah.
when you have that type of an experience, how does that help you in a project like this? What was that like?
Infinitely. I really mean that when everybody's on the same page and everybody wants to make the same movie, that typically is the secret sauce to getting something, to getting like a good end product. But when everybody also gets along, then you have this kind of freedom and this ease on set where everybody then feels safe and happy to kind of do their best work. There's not other things getting in the way, which happens a fair bit on film sets because there's so many different personalities and there's sort of big personalities or small ones that they kind of get in the way of each other. But on this, we were so lucky. I don't know whether it was great casting or what, but the personalities they put in here, everybody got along. Everybody was kind and honest and welcoming and open to doing the best job. And we clicked in right away from week one, from even before week one, when the producers are talking about something in a certain way and they're speaking with such love and care, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and we're really excited to be here. It's infectious and you get excited as well, and then everybody comes together to make this thing. So we always had the audience in mind. We always were trying to do those things that the audience were going to love, the chair pulls, and the zipper moves and everything like that. We were always kind of being like, what are they going to like the most? Let's try and do that. We
Yeah,
all got on the same page. Yeah.
that's so cool. And I'm glad you brought up the zipper move too, because that was another fantastic decision. Whoever came up with that, which I think Lucy was saying that she said play that one out as long as possible, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and she was playing music on set. She was trying to do everything to kind of get that really slow pull down and everything. And that was the point, obviously, where the main context is that Liam will still get zapped if he touches her, but
Yeah,
he wants to
yeah,
get as close as he can. So
yeah.
yeah, really fun scene to shoot.
Liam carries an impossible task guiding Cora toward her destined match while loving her himself. How did you balance that deep sacrifice? And you did it so well of being this cheeky, mischievous guy, but at the same time, you just want her to get her destiny. How did you balance that?
Yeah, yeah, it was tough. It's kind of I'm wondering how actory to get with this answer. I guess it's kind of your character always has goals and has things, and then you're juggling their wants and their needs and their reactions and stuff like that. Um, for Liam, he fundamentally always wanted the same thing, but the end goal of how to achieve that or what that would look like changes. And
Mm,
so I really wanted to have those beats throughout the sort of, if you put all three movies next to each other, to have those 4 or 5 beats where his approach changed specifically.
yeah,
So he always wants the same thing, which is the best life for Cora. But at the start, he thinks, fate be damned. That can still be me. What do they know? And then it changes into those things. So there were moments where I'd sort of highlighted and put a clear marker in the script of from now on,
mm,
Liam thinks this. So in like broad strokes, movie two was kind of I will I will make sure that Cora achieves her fate, even if it kills me from then on. And then it's like I will make sure Cora achieves her fate in spite of it killing me, or something like that. There'd be those big changes. And I just wanted to have a nice arc for Liam where because that's how in the end of the movie it really does pay off. It needs to, for that finale to work, we need to see him go from here all the way to being like a truly good changed man. So yeah, just progressively getting more and more selfless in the outcome,
Hmm.
I guess. Yeah.
So good. Yeah. What did you personally take away from playing Liam?
Wow, that's a good question. A lot. I mean, this role really has changed me and changed my life. It's been the best job I've had for sure, and working with such wonderful people that I would now consider my very close friends. Um, in in the terms of the act of playing Liam, getting to work closely with people like Katie and Joanna and seeing all of these people who are really like super experienced and just feeding off them every day on set, just learning little things. Um, I've learned so much. I've learned so much from Liam about playing a romantic character and having that be the main focus, which was really fun. But I think Liam, at the end of the day, has so many reasons why he shouldn't get what he wants in his own mind. He's almost sort of set up for failure. He comes from poverty. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't really have anything going for him other than being a good thief and a winning sort of charm. But at a certain point, he does decide, what if I really did try and get the outcome that I want in life?
Hmm.
What if I really did try? And regardless of fate or deciding my own fate or whatever that is, what if I did try? Why not?
Hmm.
Why not? And so I think that's a great reminder for me in terms of my life is to just be, of course, there will always be reasons why you shouldn't do something. But if you can find that one reason why you should and say, why not that,
Hmm.
then follow your heart.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. If there were another chapter for Liam beyond
Mhm.
Providence Falls, where would you like to take this character?
Ooh, I've got some unresolved feelings about Liam. I really wanted to have a proper showdown with Boyd. I wanted Liam to get to have a proper, once he has realized that um, everything went wrong because he was betrayed by his best friend. You know, we were building to that moment, and then he has to
Hmm.
save Finn, so he gets shot. But I would love to see that. So I think if there was more for Liam, I want to see resolution with Bale as well. I want to see
Hmm.
more Niall. I think we all want to see more Niall, to
Yeah,
be fair.
yeah.
I want to see a bit more Samael and Aegon. So I want to see Niall pluck Chief Boyd out of the ether and put him back in and come back for another go at ruining our lives. And we see Liam and Cora teaming up again to stop Bale and to stop Boyd from doing something else in the world. I think I would love to see that. And then also, okay, Liam gets his second chance at life and he's going to be with Cora. What does he do with his time?
Hmm.
Does he stay a detective and sort of try and make that an actual career, which I think is an interesting choice from being a thief? Or does he go into the second chances route with Cora and they team up for the community aspect? I don't know. I'd be happy to explore it though.
That's a great pitch. I'm
Yeah.
all for it. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that, I mean, while it's resolved, there are these things that, you could take it and run with it
Yeah.
immediately. So, yeah, I love
I
that
know
you thought about it
Katie,
too.
Katie really wants to go back to Ireland and she wants to go back in time. So she wants us to go back with our modern memories to 1844, but Liam to forget. So she gets to be the one with the memories and he doesn't remember anything.
Mm.
Which I think would be fun to kind of flip that script as well and flip the roles. And give her a chance at gaslighting me for once. That would be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Looking back, because I mean, there's so many things that you guys have been so amazing to share with us about your experience filming. Do you have a moment from this project that you're going to carry with you as an actor?
Oh,
And I know you said it's like your, favorite project ever, but is there just
yeah.
a moment?
So many moments. I think um The first one that comes to mind, there are so many, but the first one that comes to mind was at the end of one of the days of filming our Irish scenes. It might have even been the last day of filming our Irish scenes in Ireland. There was a sort of penultimate scene to the day where I didn't feel like I executed on it. And it was a scene that we built up to. And obviously, we've gone halfway across the world to film these scenes. And then to not walk away feeling like, yep, I did it, left me feeling quite down. I had to pick myself up, and we still had, one or two more scenes left to go that day. And I remember going in, and it was one of the scenes in Cora's bedroom, the first scene of movie three, where he comes in and he picks her up and they do a spin around and everything like that. And the scene was just fully lit by fire, by candlelight. They did an amazing job with that. Katie was just straight into picking me up. We had the entire crew there at the end of a long day just pushing in. And then that ended up being one of my favorite scenes to shoot. So it was kind of this full juxtaposition to I walked in feeling one way and I walked out feeling completely the other way. So I don't know, I guess it's just from my point of view, I always see my performance. I always see the flaws in my performance and I focus on those. And I tend to think like, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. But there's no point. I guess I learned that there's no point in dwelling on that. You just got to go into the next scene, try and make that as good as you can. And when we did do that, um, it turned the whole day around for me. I was so happy from that point. So I will always remember walking out of that room feeling that way,
Yeah.
and that will stick with me for sure, among a million other moments on this movie.
So we talked early on about it being so layered with mystery and the fantasy and the history and the romance. What's that next thing that you want to do now that you've kind of been able to do a little bit of each of those?
Ooh, good question. I would love to do more romance stuff. I mean, now that I still feel like I'm okay. Now I'm starting to get it a bit more, and I'm starting to sink my teeth in. It's a really fun genre to do. It does give you so much to do as an actor. There are other things I've done, which is like a procedural or something like that, where you're trying to solve a crime, where you're trying to do this, where you really only have one thing to do. The romance stuff gives you all of these other little layers and really fun things to play with, which was nice. But next, I don't know, doing a period piece, putting on fancy clothes and stuff is just kind of an actor's dream, as always. So I would have to say more period piece, more accents, more romance.
More Providence Falls. Just
It sounds like it. It sounds like just we just want more Providence Falls. Yeah.
Well, I am so excited that I got to chat with you about Providence Falls. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite projects, and so many people have said that about this particular project on Hallmark. Loved Liam, rooting for him all the way through. So many highlights. Definitely, even you said early on when you go back and rewatch it, it's definitely one of those rewatches where you can continue to pick up on those little
Mhm.
bitty moments and things that
Yeah.
you guys put so much time and effort to. Clearly, a highlight as far as Hallmark projects go. Lachlan, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, Stephanie. I really enjoyed this. Thanks.
For those of you that haven't seen Providence Falls, you can actually watch it right now on Hallmark Plus. So definitely be sure to check it out. It will be well worth your watch. Lachlan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.